1974 finals, but didn't win that one. So it's, you know what? I knew that
I played in the 74 game, not the 71.
I saw.
Okay. You knew it was coming.
I saw the look on his face.
The devil is always busy, isn't it?
I saw the look on his face and knew it was about to be messy.
Little demon, little baby demon. You heard a baby driver? Here go baby demon over here.
I know. I thought I saw you.
Boy, you ain't worth it.
I saw you shoot the hook. I thought that you was on the baseline.
Dude, I told you in 1974 I was on that team. I got cut in 1971.
Okay, my bad.
There you have it. I knew the whole time I was talking as soon as I saw his face. Oh, that's Brendan Haywood, by the way.
Thank
That's
you. I'll be here
Mitchell.
all night.
I'm Kristen Ledlow. We are actually here all night. This is Playoff Central Live presented by AT&T 5G. We're here for all of the post-game press conferences from both the Milwaukee Bucks and the Atlanta Hawks as well. But let me start, Coach, which how? How did they do this with Giannis sidelined?
Complete team effort. Look, we talked about this before the game. Even though we were hoping and thinking the Hawks could pull this off with the crowd being at home, Trae Young, a Willis Reed moment, Milwaukee was just too good, too deep. And when you look at Chris Middleton, Drew Holiday, and Brook Lopez, people forget those three guys have been all-stars. Chris Middleton, a recent all-star, but Brook Lopez and Drew Holiday. And when you get to this time of the year, your stars show up because that's what you pay those guys for. And today, Chris Middleton and Drew Holiday was unbelievable. They put this team on their back, and they spread the ball around just enough to keep Atlanta off balance. But when they needed a basket, when they got out to that big lead and Atlanta kept chipping away, it was either Drew or Chris Middleton with that dagger play or a drive to the basket with a circus shot. So the Milwaukee Bucks have been the best team in the NBA the last 3 years. They've had the best overall record the last 3 years. And finally, the best team in the East is going to the Eastern Conference Finals this year.
When I look at this team, I look at what Middleton brought to the table. I also look at what Holiday did as far as with his defense, his passing, and all of that. And at the end of the day, when the chips were on the line in that third quarter, Middleton just gave him life. And he just was hitting shot after shot after shot. And in the fourth quarter, Holiday's like, hey, don't worry about it. It's my time. Then Holiday came in and he had some big moments. And I thought the biggest bucket of the game for me was when Atlanta went on that run, and I think they cut it to around like 6 points. And then Drew Holiday came down with that contested layup, and he scored it in there. That was tough. They had to call a timeout after that. If he didn't score a bucket right there, all the momentum was going Atlanta's way. That crowd was finally starting to wake up. I guess it was a late arriving crowd because they didn't they didn't have that. The crowd didn't really have that.
They didn't.
The crowd didn't have that playoff energy that I've seen in other arenas. That wasn't like the Knicks arena.
The last 5 minutes of that game, that's when the crowd really, really got into it. If they could have been like that from the jump ball, who knows? But give Milwaukee credit, man. The thing that you have to do on the road team, you got to take the crowd out the game.
Yeah.
And they took the crowd out early, and they just put their foot on the Hawks, and they just stayed on them. They stayed consistent. And you said it. Every time the Hawks got some life, either Drew Holiday or Chris Middleton or Brook Lopez, they kind of snuffed it out. And give the Hawks credit, man. Look, Trae Young, valiant effort.
He wasn't right. Trae wasn't
even close. But you knew he was going to want to play in this game. Atlanta fought hard, young team. They should be back in the future. But, man, Milwaukee is seasoned.
Emerging superstar in this league. And there's not many guys that can do what he does. And what I mean by that is there's some guys that can score, and then there's some guys that can pass. But there aren't many guys that in playoff games they can go like, hey, I'm about to hit you for 40 and I'm going to get 10 assists. Most guys aren't able to diversify the way Trae does. And then he is so small, but yet he gets down the lane, and with that float, it's like he plays big. It's like he's 6'5", even though he's only 6 feet tall. So Trae has announced to the NBA world, hey, I've arrived. I'm not just here getting great games in the regular season. There's maybe 13, 14 games on that night. But in the playoffs, everybody's just watching you, and they watch Trae grow up right before our eyes.
I agree. Everybody kept saying, the comparison with Luka and Trae. Did the Hawks make a mistake? Right. Look at what Luka's doing. Well, look at what Trae's done. If I remember correctly, the Dallas Mavericks went home in the first round. Trae Young took his team to a Game 6 of the Eastern Conference Finals.
Don't do that.
Well, I'm not comparing, but these two are always going to be compared by where they drafted. But I think it's time now to close that gap.
Yes.
For a long time, everybody had Luka up here, and Trae is one of those guys, just a good player that could get his. You put some talent around Trae, and Trae figured out how to make everyone else better, and not just that, to take his game to a higher level. When you can make your teammates better and you take your game to a higher level, you said it, that's when you become a superstar. And Trae Young proved he was the smallest guy in this series, but he played awfully big throughout the playoffs, and he's announced his arrival. This Hawks team announced their arrival, and I expect them to be in the fight in the Eastern Conference for years to come.
And when you say that Trey has closed the gap between him and Luka, something else that closes that gap, they got Cam Reddish in that deal.
That's
because
right.
they got the 10th pick, which turned into Cam Reddish. And it was a little rough starting out for him his rookie year, but now we're seeing him start to grow into something. What we're hoping is that these last couple of games where we've seen him really step up and play and hit shots the way he did, we're hoping that springboards him and gets his confidence going so that he can be that 3-and-D guy that they drafted him to be. Because if Cam Reddish steps up the way he did in this series, and then they get DeAndre Hunter.
It's going to be a lopsided trade.
And then we get DeAndre Hunter back.
Yep.
But just if Cam Reddish steps up, then no one will say this is, the Hawk. No one will say Dallas got the better of this deal.
No.
Because if Cam Reddish turns into what we know he can be, what his talent level says he can be, and they still have Trey, we're like, wow, these Hawks are really set up to do well.
Right now, I think it's 50-50. When you look at Luka and you look at Trey, you look at the numbers that they both put up, you look at the assists, you look at the shooting, you look at what Trey does and what Luka does, and then the fact that you add in Cam, look, it's already Atlanta won that trade. Both of them got significantly better. Both of them got great players, but the Hawks got two. Yeah. And Cam Reddish, I coached him at Jesus Nation when he was a young kid. He is going to be good. But it's unfortunate, to your point. This might have been a different series if Hunter and Cam Reddish would have been healthy throughout the playoffs.
Right.
Without a doubt, a stunning run by the Atlanta Hawks, the 5 seed in the Eastern Conference, finishing in Game 6 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Let's go ahead and listen in to Coach Nate McMillan.
It's just a resilient group. You know, they've been doing this all season long, and, you know, I want to, thank the organization, Tony, Jamie, and Travis for the opportunity to work with this group. They've been a great group all season long. You know, it was a huge challenge for them once, Coach Pierce was let go. And I challenged those guys to be better, to do better, to sacrifice, to commit to each other, and they did. It just shows that when you get a group of guys just working together for the same common goal, they have talent. Every NBA team has talent. You can win games. And what they did this season it wasn't luck, wasn't involved. It was hard work. It was sacrificing. It was committing to each other. It was trusting each other, and the effort was there every single night. And they played themselves into the Eastern Conference Finals, with a chance to go to the finals. But, Milwaukee is a really good team. They're a really good team. I know they was missing Giannis, but that team was on a mission. They've been on a mission for the last couple of years. Every time we tried to make a run tonight, they answered. And, they just, Bud and his crew really just did a solid job in this series. I thank them. I thank them for committing. I thank them for sacrificing. I thank them for trusting and believing. Because none of this would have happened if we didn't do all of those things. And they did. They sacrificed. They committed. They believed. And what we were trying to do here, the changes that we were trying to make, taking that next step, committing to each other, playing the game the right way, playing the game together, and all of those guys did that. We had a ton of injuries this season, and guys like Solomon and Tony Snell, Brandon. They all stepped in when they got their opportunity and made the most of it. And then you have Clint and Kevin and Bogey. Cam comes back from an injury and gives us a lift. Trey just, I've seen a lot of growth in this team, in Trey leading this team. And as I, told him, this wasn't a fluke. This wasn't luck. He's built for this time of the season, and he did a hell of a job leading his team here. I think I told them that it certainly could be. They've gotten a taste of what it takes to get here. It's hard. It's hard, and they committed to working hard and basically approached it one game at a time. And they beat some really good teams, New York and Philadelphia, to get here. So. This could be the start of something that is consistent. I know the organization, Tony just talked about his commitment to this team and this organization to continue to win. They want to win here. He wants to build a winner, and he's willing to do whatever it takes. That was his message to the team. And, I have a great deal of respect for these guys and their approach to this season, and my coaching staff. It doesn't happen if this coaching staff doesn't do the job that they did for me to take over a team mid-season and for this team to have the turnaround that it did. A lot of things had to fall in place and work for us. And the coaching staff did a great job of helping me adjust and adapt, keeping these guys mentally, physically ready to go. And, we all challenge ourselves and each other to have a successful season. So I want to give, thanks to those guys as well.
Nate, obviously traded this last couple games, came back today. Looked like he was fighting that foot but trying to play through it. What did you see from his performance tonight?
I saw a guy, the message was no regrets. We don't want no regrets after this game tonight. And we leave everything we have out on the floor. And that's what I saw from Trey. The fact that he hasn't done anything on the floor since the injury. This was the first time that he has done anything live on the floor. So he was gassed. He was breathing hard. Cam was the same way. Both of those guys, tonight left everything they had out on the floor. And I thought, as a group, we did. And that was the message. No regrets. At the end of this game, empty your tank. And I thought this group, they did.
You mentioned somebody talking in the locker room about the vision you see for this team going forward, things you guys can do. You obviously still technically have an interim tag on your title. Do you want to be back with this group going forward?
We're gonna talk. Of course, we're gonna talk. I'm gonna talk with this organization. I just appreciate them giving me the opportunity, and thankful that they had the trust, to put me in charge of running this organization. So we will have a conversation here, I'm sure, pretty soon.
We're taking a look at the Hawks season in review. Again, the 5th seed in the Eastern Conference playoff race, and took it to a Game 6 of the Eastern Conference Finals. They were 36-19.
Yeah, I will just leave
The
it.
NBA Finals. Here's Coach Mike Budenholzer.
So much respect and congratulations to the Atlanta Hawks, Nate McMillan, the coaching job he did this year, their players. Just a tough series, and so impressed by them and so much respect for them. So feel fortunate to To be moving on, because they're a really, really good team, a really well-coached team by Nate. Yeah, what a roller coaster of emotions, especially this series, but the series before and opening with Miami and how good they are, and so just impressed with the resilience of the group, the character of the group. They just they have a focus and an edge that's put us in a good place, put us in an opportunity to keep playing, and so you got to deal with all those emotions, all the everything that goes into each round, and this group has been able to do that. It's impressive, but we got more to do. Yeah, he's such a great player, such a great human being. To be around him every day, how he prepares, the voice, the way he communicates, the IQ. He's just, it's special for him to play the way he has, and now for him to be going to the NBA Finals. It means a lot for I think the whole organization, but to have a player like Chris that is one of our leaders, one of our core guys, to step up and take this challenge and rise to it. Just a lot of credit to him, a lot of respect, and I'm fortunate to get to coach him. Yeah, I mean, every team's got a different journey. Every team's got to go through different things. Certainly, anytime you lose, you got to be honest with yourself. You got to look. You got to reflect, and try and get better. And so I think, just like every team in the league, when this group hasn't been able to advance, hasn't been able to continue, it's hurt. It's been hard. And the off season, the guys that put the work in, the players that put the work in, and I'm impressed with what they've done, really every year. But coming into this year, but there's still more to be done. Yeah, I mean, I think, really players for sure, and I think the whole organization, the front office, coaches, the owners, take a second and enjoy this. This doesn't happen very often. It's special. And then, we've had kind of long extended pauses in between each round, and kind of excited to try it without one. Maybe we can be the team that's in a rhythm and all that, and after game one, I'm sure we'll talk about which was better, rest or rhythm and all that. So, but it's a quick turn, but we'll be ready.
To the NBA Finals for the first time since 1974. John Collins and Cam Reddish both addressing the media now.
No, yeah, for sure. That has a lot to do with it. The grittiness, the competitiveness that we played with all year, the never die attitude that we've had. I think it speaks a lot, about our team and the way we've been able to handle these playoffs, given, the shortcomings we've all faced this year. So, hats off to all our guys.
Chris? John, do you feel like this is the start of something special here after this kind of growth?
Yeah, definitely. I felt that way from, the beginning of the year. Honestly, from when we drafted, Kevin, Trey, Cam, and Dre, Bruno, all those guys, I felt it then. So to see it, manifest itself is beautiful. So I'm just hoping we can continue to build.
They just said that you took a liking to you from Coach Davis. What's your relationship with Michael and how has he helped you?
I mean, now you're absolutely right. I mean, we kind of had a connection when I first met him. Um, I mean, he just told me to just play my game. I ain't had that in a minute, man. So it felt good to just, have somebody I feel like that was on my side. I'm always gonna have his back for sure. But good dude, great relationship.
Jeff?
For both of you, when did you first find out that Trey was going to play? Do you think you would try it all along? And then how quickly, sort of in the game, as you're watching it, did you realize, this guy's just got it out, but it's not going to be for Trey?
Yeah, I think I really, figured it out as we were, putting on our jerseys and just trying to, head out onto the court. It's really a game time decision on his part. And, as you said, he went out there and competed his ass off. Competed like a true champ and, tried to just lay it out there on the line for his team. And that's all we can, respect from him.
Tim?
Obviously, I guess actually for both of you guys, Chris Middleton obviously has been a key guy for them in this series. What was he able to do in that second half that was able to kind of keep them?
Hey, Jelani, can I get a question in here when you go to the Zoom?
Yeah. Oh, my bad. I'm sorry. Could you repeat that for us?
Yeah. Chris Middleton has obviously been a key guy for them in this series. That big game four, or big game three, I should say. He was able to get a bunch of shots in the third quarter.
I got you.
What did he do to kind of get going there in the second half?
Yeah, he's just a great player, very skilled player, and once he catches the rhythm, we don't like anybody to catch a rhythm, but everybody in this league is a pro for a reason, and once a guy gets hot, it's just tough to stop. So, as I said, hats off to Chris who had a great series, and we just got to give him credit.
I know Cam's answer based on what he said before, but just for asking Nate, you still got technically an interim title on his resume. Do you expect him to be the coach here next year, or do you think he should?
Yeah, I would expect it to be a major shock if we didn't see Nate back as a coach of the Atlanta Hawks next year. I would definitely be extremely surprised.
What about working under him the past few months that you appreciate most?
Honestly, just his honesty with us. He's a real old school type of guy, and I feel like he challenges us on a day-to-day basis, and I feel like that's the biggest thing for me. He's always challenged every single one of us to be two-way players, and I just feel like that's helped all of us grow and develop a playoff mentality.
Chris?
Obviously, only played 3 games in the playoffs after almost 4 months. But how can you use what you showed in these 3 games to hopefully propel you into the next season?
I mean, it was definitely a nice little stepping stone, but that ain't gonna matter next year. So I just gonna go home, get in the gym, and just work. As simple as that.
What do you feel like you needed to come this offseason?
Everything. I knew you was gonna ask that. Everything.
Jeff?
John, I'm just wondering what your emotions are right now. On one hand, the end of any season is tough, but the flip side is you obviously got a great season and show us for us. I'm just wondering kind of where you're at.
Yeah, it's a feeling I've never really felt before. Obviously feeling like we had a real chance to hold up that Larry O'Brien trophy, coming short, understanding all of the positive things that we've done in this year to help us get to this point, and all of the things that I didn't do or I feel like I could have done harder, or been locked in or more focused on are flooding in my mind as well. So, it's just a rush of a lot of emotions that I don't necessarily understand how to process yet, but I can tell you that I'm proud of just this group and the way we've battled and competed up to this point.
Sarah?
Hey, John. Is it tough? I guess just how tough is it that I know every team is kind of battling injuries right now. Even the Bucks with what's going on with Giannis. But is it just tough for it to kind of end on? Trey didn't fully, maybe wasn't 100%. I know you guys are missing DeAndre for a while. Do you let yourself wonder about that, or do you just kind of try to not think about that?
No, of course, I don't like to see our guys down, but that's sort of the issue or the Achilles heel for I feel like our team and a lot of teams this year is we've never really had a chance to truly have a fully healthy roster with the change in schedule and COVID tests and no practices and a bunch of stuff that we don't necessarily talk about. But we don't like to make excuses, and I felt like that's why we were as competitive as we were, is because we didn't use it as an excuse the entire year. We just competed.
First question from Zoom come from Zach Klein.
John, the future is bright to say the least in this city. The fact that you guys put Hawks basketball back on the map, your feeling towards that and the future of this team, this core.
Yeah, it started with our young core that we were, drafted and stuck together. We have a great relationship, and I felt like what we've been able to do this year, as I said before, in the midst of all the chaos and new obstacles that we had to overcome, is a big stepping stone for us going into the future, and we just got to build on that.
Maria Martin.
John, kind of building off of Zach's question a little bit, what makes you feel like this team is now built for sustainable success?
Well, I feel like it was the one thing that we were missing, and that was playoff experience. We got to taste a little bit of that. Obviously, it didn't end the way we wanted, but I feel like that was the most important part. I definitely feel like we have the young talent. Dre, myself, Cam, Trey, everybody here. I feel like, the young core is here, the veterans are here, the coaching. We just needed some experience to sort of hang our hat on and understand what it feels like.
Brandon Harper.
Hey, Cam, you had a heck of a game today. 6 threes coming off the bench, which is a record for a Hawks player coming off the bench in the playoffs. A lot of guys in the league, a lot of young guys who you come up with through the AAU circuit give you a lot of respect and they know your game. But for a lot of other people in the league who may not have known what you can do, what do you think you showed them since you've been back?
I'll do it on both sides of the ball. I'm going to get after it defensively, offensively. It don't even matter. I don't really know how else to say it. It's pretty self-explanatory, I feel like. In the most respectful way possible, by the way. I ain't trying to be,
Hello guys, great season first of all. John, your team was 2 wins away from the NBA Finals. How confident you are about next season that you're going to put those 2 wins?
Extremely confident. As I said before, we never had our fully healthy squad the entire year. Even up to this point. So, with that in mind, hopefully, everything goes well injury-wise. We can come back fully healthy, and definitely feel like we can make the same attack, make the same push, for sure.
And for you, Cam, Coach McMillan said that he sees a lot of Paul George on you. What kind of reward for this?
Say that again one more time, the question.
Yeah, Coach McMillan said before that he sees a lot of Paul George in your game. What kind of reward for you?
He said what kind of reward?
He said he sees a lot of Paul George in your game. What does that mean to you? Like Coach said.
That's an honor. Y'all seen PG playing. It's a complete honor. Coach, thank you if you're watching. But man, I'm just trying to be me. I'm just trying to go home, get to the nitty gritty, and just come back as Cam Reddish. So y'all can call me Cam Reddish.
I like that too.
The final question will come from Deshaun Tate.
Two-part question. I guess the first part for you guys is what is it exactly that you want Hawks Nation, who have been down with you guys for so long, especially with there being a time that you guys were really playing so well as a team, showed in the results all the way up until this point. What is it that you want people and Hawks fans that stuck with you through that process to remember the most about this season?
If anything, I want them to remember is that we're not done yet. I feel like this is one of the first stepping stones for us to become as successful as we want to be. We're still hungry, and I feel like we have a lot more to fight for. We love each other as a group, and as I said before, we're not done.
All right, I think that's all. Cam, John, thank you for joining us.
Thank y'all. Appreciate y'all, guys.
Playoff Central Live continues after the break with player press conferences, including Bucks All-Star Chris Middleton after securing his spot in the finals. Stay with us.